Have you ever had that feeling? You know the one. You're on the hamster wheel, you're working harder than ever, but you're just not getting anywhere? Well, that feeling, it's not just in your head. There's a ghost in the machine, and today we're going to find it. I mean, this is the promise we all grew up with, right? It's the bedrock of, well, everything. You put in the hours, you do the work, and the rewards will come. For the longest time, that simple equation felt as real and as solid as a law of physics. And that is the core of the problem we're digging into. It's not that you got lazy, and it's not that you're suddenly doing everything wrong. It's that the effort you're putting in, it just isn't being heard anymore. The system, for all intents and purposes, has gone deaf. So to really get why things feel so different now, let's just quickly go back and look at the old playbook. Section 1, the hard work promise. The rules we were all taught to live by. You know the advice. We've all heard it. Be consistent, keep grinding, send out more applications, more proposals, whatever it is. It's the whole gospel of just sheer volume. But here's the thing. Those strategies, they were designed for a world that played by a totally different set of rules. A world that was actually listening in a different way. So what happens when you follow those old rules in this new world? Well, that brings us right to our second section, where all that incredible effort you're putting in just starts to become, well, noise. Okay, this right here is the absolute key. These systems, we're talking hiring algorithms, content platforms, you name it, they often put us in what's called an active testing loop right at the start. But here's the catch. Once they've made a quick judgment about you, that loop can slam shut. And when it does, all your continued effort, all your improvements, they become completely invisible. And this is where the disconnect becomes so painfully obvious. Just look at this. On the left, that's you, doubling your effort, tripling your applications. You think you're showing incredible grit. But on the right, that's what the algorithm sees. It sees low variance. It sees a predictable profile. It's already decided who you are, and frankly, it's just too expensive and inefficient for it to retest someone it thinks it already has figured out. So, okay, if the old rules are broken, what are the new ones? That's what we're getting into right now in Section 3, finally understanding the new playbook that these automated systems are actually using. Just let that one sink in for a second, because this idea changes everything. The system isn't built to care about your persistence. It's built to react to a significant, noticeable change in the data you give it. It's not looking for effort. It's looking for a new signal. So what in the world is a signal change? Well, it's not just working 10% harder. It's a fundamental shift. A change that's so big, the algorithms simply can't ignore it. Think of it like this. If you're a quiet radio station, turning up your volume just a little bit is still basically static. A signal change is switching to a completely new frequency. It's an update that forces the system to go, whoa, wait a minute, this is not the same profile I saw before. I need to take another look. And this is exactly why our gradual, steady progress so often fails. These algorithms are literally designed to smooth out the little ups and downs. They're trying to see the big picture, and in that process, all your slow, steady improvements, they just get rounded down. They're treated like statistical noise, not real progress. And this just nails the cold logic at work, doesn't it? The machine isn't trying to be mean. It's just logically concluding, okay, this is the same person with the same data points, just doing more of it. And for a profile it has already filed away, more volume is just not a good reason to change its mind. Okay, so we've talked about the system. Let's shift gears and talk about the human cost of all this invisible logic. How does a problem with the system turn into something that feels so deeply personal? This is the fundamental collision right here. We as people operate on an expectation of fairness. We just believe that if we put in the effort, it should be seen, it should be rewarded. But the system, it's not optimizing for fairness. It's optimizing for one thing and one thing only, efficiency. So when that collision happens, when your hard work runs smack into the system's silent brick wall, who do you blame? You blame yourself. And that is the quiet cruelty of this whole thing. What is actually a structural problem, a feature of the system itself, starts to feel like a personal failure. I mean, think about it. You triple your effort, as you see here, but because it's not the right kind of input, the result isn't a breakthrough. The result is just burnout. You're completely exhausted from pushing on a door that was never going to open to that kind of knock in the first place.
So if grinding yourself into the ground isn't the answer, then what is? This brings us to our final section and to a really crucial shift in how we need to think. The goal isn't just to work harder. The goal is to be seen. And let's be crystal clear about this. This is not an argument against hard work. Your effort, your skill, it all still matters. A lot. The problem is that its value gets totally lost if the system you're trying to impress can't even see it. It's like shouting your best ideas in a soundproof room.
This is the new paradigm. This is the new reality. In a world that runs on algorithms, just getting noticed, becoming visible to the system in a new and compelling way, that's way more valuable than just turning up the volume on the same old effort. Visibility is the currency that buys you a second chance. And this, of course, brings us to the most important and maybe the most dangerous question of all. If being consistent, if being persistent, if just grinding it out doesn't force the system to give you a fresh look, then what on earth does?
And here's the final thought I want to leave you with. The algorithm, that ghost in the machine, it isn't impressed by how long you knock on the same door. It only pays attention when you change the door entirely. It doesn't react to persistence, it reacts to disruption. So the real question isn't, how can I work harder? The real question is, how can I be disruptive?